250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars.
It's Education Day at the Finn, where the home team is looking to learn something about themselves during this morning matinee as Villanova welcomes the 15th-ranked Marquette Golden Eagles to the main line. Hi, everybody. I'm Matt Janis alongside Christine Mata. Great atmosphere inside the Finn here this morning. A lot of school kids, they are jacked up and making some noise.
It is always a great environment whenever you can get this many elementary school students, and Villanova Wildcats are hoping that they'll be screaming for them. Indeed
they are, as they look to pull off the upset. Marquette, meanwhile, coming in off perhaps the most impressive win by a Big East team this year, just dominated DePaul last week.
Yeah, as a coach, you never want to think ahead. As players, you never want to think ahead. But since March of last year, that Big East championship game, Marquette has had that outcome in their minds. And boy, what a statement they made last week against DePaul. Such a balanced scoring effort, 21 team assists, just fantastic balance.
And they did it without their best player. Alizea Blockton out with an ankle injury, still out, will miss her third consecutive game today, and they hope to get Natisha Heidemann to pick up the slack again.
She was unconscious against DePaul, 32 points, a career high, but she did other things as well. She had 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 6 steals, and really led the way for the Marquette Golden Eagles.
On the other end for Villanova, they have injury concerns of their own. Grace Stant, a senior starter, is out for the year. She is going to be replaced in the starting line by Bridget Herlihy, but the Wildcats led by Mary Gadeka.
She's improved her scoring this year, but she's also been leading the way along with Kelly Jaycott. A lot of times you'll find her isolated in the paint so she can kick it out for assists as well, but she's really become a leader by her play.
Gadeka, one of the most efficient players, not just in the conference, but in the country. Second in the Big East in field goal percentage, but 9th in the country. When she shoots it, it has a tendency to go in, which is something that Harry Paredes' team desperately needs to have happen today. It's Villanova Marquette coming up next on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
Meet Fliz1. It's tiny and complex, and to our research team at Villanova University, this protein may hold the key to new tests for breast cancer. I started this work my second year at Villanova with a world-class researcher who is now my mentor and colleague. I stepped on campus an aspiring oncologist. Now, I'll start med school with a real understanding of the science behind the practice of medicine and Villanova's Augustinian values to guide me. Ignite change, go Nova.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Meet Fliz1. It's tiny and complex, and to our research team at Villanova University, this protein may hold the key to new tests for breast cancer. I started this work my second year at Villanova with a world-class researcher who is now my mentor and colleague. I stepped on campus an aspiring oncologist. Now, I'll start med school with a real understanding of the science behind the practice of medicine and Villanova's Augustinian values to guide me. Ignite change, go Nova.
Great atmosphere inside the Finn. Villanova set to take on Marquette. The Wildcats 10-4 on the year, 2-2 in conference play. As we mentioned in the open, little change to their starting lineup as Bridget Herlihy inserted with the injury to Grace Stant. Marquette dealing with injuries as well, with Blockton still out. And consequently, this Marquette team gets to show off its depth. I think everybody knows how good Blockton is. Some of the other players get a little overshadowed, and what a coming out party they've had.
Yeah, and you talk about this senior-led group, but even some of the youngsters getting involved in the action as well.
Harry Peretta, the dean of Big East coaches, in his 41st season on the bench for Villanova, hoping his team can pull off the upset this afternoon. Carolyn Keeger, meanwhile, at her alma mater. Her 5th season on the sidelines at Marquette. She had 1,200 career points, 400 career rebounds, and 600 career assists during her playing days, but the job she's done running things in Milwaukee even more impressive.
Yeah, and they've built for this. From day one when this senior class came in as recruits, she said, this is what we've been building for. And she even said, I need to start to enjoy it a little bit because they've worked so hard to get here and now they need to keep working. But she said, I also have to enjoy some of the little things.
So Selena Lott moves into the starting lineup for Marquette as you look at the faithful here at Villanova getting prepared to get this game started. Lott, sophomore out of Greenbush, New York. And we are just about set to get underway. Davenport can't win the tip from Marquette as it goes to Tucker, and Villanova gets it first.
And you're going to see Marquette here coming out in that aggressive defense, really trying to take away Adriana Hahn.
Villanova will be patient as Hahn head fake to try to free herself. Nice pass to Gadeka for the early layup.
And that's one thing, if you're Marquette, you're going to play man-to-man against Villanova. You have to jump to the ball on those passes. Cannot turn your head because they're too good moving without the basketball.
Ottoman was not ready for the pass. Villanova in a man defense as well. Nice pass and a layup for Davenport. A little two-man game for the Golden Eagles.
And again, we're talking about a Marquette team that knows each other so well. There's just something about spending those 4 years together and getting to know tendencies, eye contact.
Gadeka fires the three. One and done as Wilborn the rebound. Long pass, good catch in traffic from Davenport, who is fouled.
Yeah, an unfortunate foul there for Mary Gadeka this early, just turning her head and going up and getting a foul about 15 feet away from the basket.
Davenport just wanted that basketball more. It is the first foul on Gadeka, something to keep an eye on. Wilborn, one of the leaders for this team, lobs it inside. Gadeka trying to front the post, got the deflection. Davenport backs her down. Sticks with it and gets the two.
Offensive rebounds are going to be so crucial in this game. If you're Villanova, you cannot allow those second chance opportunities. Marquette's just too good.
Marquette, a team that thrives in the paint. Despite the fact that they play a four-guard offense, they don't have many bigs.
And you wonder because they shoot so many three-point shots, but Carolyn Keeger says, hey, if we're getting a lot of points in the paint, that means we're getting easy buckets as well.
Jaycott misses everything out of bounds, so the ball goes back to Marquette, and that's something Villanova can't afford. They have to hit from outside to beat a team of Marquette's caliber.
Yeah, Harry Preda often says, 10 is their number. If they can hit 10 three-pointers per game, they have a really good chance of winning the ball game.
Davenport goes to work inside again, sealing Hurley. He missed the reverse, and Hurley the rebound.
And you see a lot of that isolation down low. Villanova is helping on those earlier possessions, but there, Kelly Jaycott getting isolated.
2 minutes in, a 2-point lead for Marquette. Nice pass, Tucker on the cut for the layup.
Just so good. Villanova just does such a great job of moving without the basketball.
Wilborn tries to beat everybody back. Hurley, he got a piece. Nova the other way.
And you won't see Villanova run in transition. If they have it, they take it. But
Hurley, he has it for the layup.
And that's the great vision of Adriana Hahn, just the senior leader for this team.
So it's Nova back up by 2. Danielle King, the lefty finish.
And how good has Danielle King been this season? Carolyn Keeger talks how she's become more of a vocal leader now that she's a senior, but she can really do it all.
Chicago, Illinois, native Chicago tough. Lott got the deflection, almost tipped it into the basket, but Marquette ends up with a steal. Wilborn all the way. How in the world did she see Davenport for the layup?
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. Davenport's grabbing her shirt there. I don't know if she's calling for a sub.
Wilborn was like a quarterback in a football game, threw to a spot rather than a person on that pass.
And again, that's from knowing each other. It's those tendencies, and there's something to be said about that.
Hahn inside the arc, lobbing it for Gadeka on the spin. A rare miss, point blank from Mary Gadeka. Heidemann the other way. Nice hesitation move. She misses the layup, and it'll go to Villanova.
You talk about Natisha Heidemann, just so impressive in that game against DePaul. Watching that game, there wasn't anything that she could not do. She's really grown here through her senior year and just took over. Each team goes to its bench for the first time. Lauren Van Kluwen in for Marquette. And meanwhile, another Herlihy into the game for Villanova. This is Brianna. Good idea by Jaycott looking for Tucker on the extra feed, but it was knocked out of bounds. And both of these teams have so many weapons, but they can do it multiple ways. They can move without the basketball and cut to the basket, but they also are both such great three-point shooting teams, so it gives you a hard time of knowing what defense to play.
Sister connection got an open jumper, but Brianna could not hit. Here comes Marquette. King is the point guard, but everybody on the floor can handle the basketball for Marquette. Van Klunen short with a jumper. It came right back to her. Can't get the defender in the air, and Marquette will reset.
And again, there's some of those second chance opportunities. Now you have to play another 30 seconds of defense.
Wilborn to the paint, and a foul is called as Brianna Herlihy got a piece, and will send Amani Wilborn to the line for a pair.
And what allowed Wilborn to now get to the line is that little bit of hesitation. She started to take her player, hesitated just enough to get her defender off balance, and then she was able to gain some contact to get to the free throw line.
Wilborn coming off her best all-around game of the season. Had a season-high 20 points, added 6 boards, 5 assists in the win last week against DePaul. A good free throw shooter, 77% of the year.
We keep mentioning these players and what a great game they had against DePaul, and I think it just is a testament to the balance of this team. They're one of the most experienced, if not the most experienced team in the country. I mean, how often do you see 5 seniors all with 1,000 points each?
Missed a pair here, though, and Villanova the rebound. Down 2 with the basketball, almost halfway through this opening quarter.
And Villanova is very happy to take time off the shot clock. They want to limit possessions here today.
Herlihy off the mark with a 3. Lott in traffic. Good rebound. Gets it off to King.
And conversely, Marquette, they want to push the ball. They want to get out and run.
King on the push. Got stuck. Pretty good defense from Bridget Herlihy. Forced the pass out to Lott. Lefty finish using the window.
You're talking about a Marquette team that averages 85 points per game. So, one of the goals of Villanova is really how do you slow this down? How do you limit those possessions? So they don't want to take the air out, but they're going to move without the basketball. They're going to reverse the basketball, try to penetrate, but then take the shot when they have it.
Herlihy off the bounce, short with the jumper. Heidemann clears the rebound, but throws it away. Tucker the steal. 3-on-3 the other way, and she'll slow it up.
Harry Parada talks about Jana Tucker, one of his best defenders, and she just does such a great job as the oldest player on this team as well. Transfer out of Tennessee. Injured her knee her first season down in Knoxville. Return to the main line. Herlihy, nice move. Bridget Herlihy inside. And she can really be a key to this basketball game. Again, getting that start with Stant out with an injury. Heidemann along the baseline, beating King for the easy 2. Look at that. That's what we're talking about. That connection, you can't teach that. You only get that through experience. And Heidemann and King, some of the best backcourt duo to do it. They just understand the concept of what each wants to do on the floor at all times. Jaycott reverses it to Hahn for the open triple. Adriana Hahn, one of the best three-point shooters in the conference. Wilborn trying to attack the other way, got stripped, got it back, and King will try to get things set up. Little pick and roll with Van Klunen, and banks it in. Yeah, great job by Van Klunen, but really what made that happen was Danielle King. Again, the hesitated, didn't hit the pick and roll right away, took a little bit of a pause, but then hit the spot. Up and down action, a long time since we had a whistle. Marquette by 3.
Hurley lobs it to her sister in the high post. They reverse it to Jaycott, who wasn't ready to shoot it.
I mean, look at that mismatch. King against Hurley. I'd post up.
Hurley with the left hand, high off the window. Brianna Hurley. Heidemann attacking the other way, stripped on the way up, off her, out of bounds, back to Villanova. So the Hurley sisters playing well early, and the Wildcats in this one. 2:45 left in the first quarter, and it's Marquette up only one.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Meet Fliz 1. It's tiny and complex, and to our research team at Villanova University, this protein may hold the key to new tests for breast cancer. I started this work my second year at Villanova with a world-class researcher who is now my mentor and colleague. I stepped on campus an aspiring oncologist. Now, I'll start med school with a real understanding of the science behind the practice of medicine and Villanova's Augustinian values to guide me. Ignite change, go Nova.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
15th ranked team in the country, just a 1-point lead in this mid-morning matinee for the Finn on the main line in Pennsylvania. One of 3 day games going on. Big East Fast Break, live whip-around coverage on the Fox Sports app right now. You can check in on Jamaica, New York, Providence visiting St. John's, or your old stomping grounds in Seton Hall, where the Blue Jays visiting the Pirates. Great day of Big East basketball.
Yeah, just a great promotion here. Lots of different options. And again, the environment here at Finneran Pavilion at Villanova University with the Education Day, just phenomenal experience.
Great feel for what we have coming up in the Big East tournament in March. And of course, tickets are available for that one. Villanova basketball, as Hurley will go to work. She's had a good start. Both Hurley sisters have, in fact, in the early going. Emily Esposito in for the first time as well for the Wildcat. And a whistle foul away from the ball against Marquette.
And that's what that constant movement does to you as a defender. If you're not jumping to the ball, if you're not staying true to your principles and your team philosophies, Marquette has different philosophies that they do. If they make contact, they switch. If not, they fight through. So they need to stay true to those things, but they may have to make some adjustments here if they keep getting beat on those slips.
Isabel Spingola in for the first time for Marquette. Fouls on Lott, her first. Gadeka to the basket, and Villanova back up by a point.
Yeah, Mary Gadeka, so deceiving, so deceptive, has great footwork, but she can put the ball on the floor and get to the rim as well.
Lott hoists the three. One and done as Tucker comes in to clear the rebound.
And it makes such a difference when you can hold that Marquette team to one and done, let you get back into your offense and use some more of that clock.
Nice spin move by Gadeka, but the double came. Forced the pass to Hurley. Tucker doubled, finds Hurley to the basket for two.
And there you see that communication. Natisha and Heidemann called for the switch, but a little bit of a mismatch in that roll and dive. You just couldn't make up the ground to defend it.
Pingola looking inside, finds Wilborn. Backing down on Esposito, high off the glass.
And that's just pure strength by Wilborn. She just kept her composure, kept that hard dribble, used her body to block the basket from the ball and went up strong.
1,100 career points. One of 4 Golden Eagles who have eclipsed the 1,000-point mark in their career. Esposito, the step back, couldn't get the roll. Heidemann the board.
Yeah, Esposito, Harry Pratt is saying she could be one of the keys this year for this Villanova team.
Heidemann hammered by Tucker, and that one spins off on her. She'll head to the strike, though, for a pair.
You know, Natisha Heidemann with a little bit of a slow start here today, but you keep talking about the game against DePaul, just an unbelievable effort. It's one of those games, they say it's the zone or unconscious. It really was unbelievable to watch because everything she put up seemed to go in, but she had the confidence to do it, and she did it in multiple ways, but then she also facilitated the basketball to her teammates, and really an enjoyable game.
Carolyn Keeger called it a near-perfect effort from Heidemann. Everybody had to rise their level just a little, playing without blocking against one of the best in the Big East, and boy, did they. Marquette back up a point, final 53 seconds of this opening quarter.
And that's what's interesting about that matchup versus this matchup for Marquette, because DePaul, they want to get out and do the same things. Those two they've scored over 100. It's up and down, a lot of points scored. Here, it's a different adjustment because Villanova is trying to do pretty much the opposite with the tempo of the game than the Golden Eagles.
Raven James, redshirt sophomore, in to run point for the Wildcats as Hahn sits down for the first time. Gadeka, that early foul has been quiet.
So much of this Villanova offense, too, it's reads. It's reading how the defender is playing that screen. Are you going to cut back? Are you going to go over the top, or are you going to curl?
4 to shoot. Gadeka on the spin. Nice move, Mary Gadeka. Wilborn trying to beat everybody back. Kids are trailing. Heidemann, big answer for the triple.
I think her ears might have been burning a little bit. She said, oh, yeah, you think I'm off to a slow start? Here we go.
Impressive transition game. Esposito now the other way. Threw it away. Davenport to steal. 3-on-3. And that's the end of the opening quarter as Davenport couldn't find the range for the floater. Great first period. Wildcats up a point after 1.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Meet Fliz 1. It's tiny and complex, and to our research team at Villanova University, this protein may hold the key to new tests for breast cancer. I started this work my second year at Villanova with a world-class researcher who is now my mentor and colleague. I stepped on campus an aspiring oncologist. Now, I'll start med school with a real understanding of the science behind the practice of medicine and Villanova's Augustinian values to guide me. Ignite change, go Nova.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Good offense in the opening quarter. Marquette up a deuce as both teams shooting the ball better than 50% from the field.
Yeah, it's been a really enjoyable game to watch, but both teams doing it a little bit differently. Villanova isolating some players inside with a 4-out, 1-in, great footwork, and Marquette starting to get it rolling. Again, both teams with the ability to get to the rim.
Danielle King, the layup for Marquette. Meanwhile, Brianna Herlihy off the bench, providing a spark, and they have been attacking the rim in waves.
Yeah, and both teams, you know, everybody expects both of these teams to sit out on the perimeter and jack up shots, although Marquette does try to get to the rim because they play a really nice inside-out game. But you know, Villanova also getting to the rim, but adamant. They try to hit a certain amount of three-point shots per game. 10 makes is kind of their number, and really interesting to see. You know, we talked about Heidemann off to a slow start. She scored 5 points in the last minute.
Villanova 1 of 5 from 3 in the opening quarter, and yet only down by 2. You have to feel fortunate if you're Harry Peretta. Lott got stuck, still found an angle to get the shot off and hit it.
And, you know, and a lot of these moves, that's maturity, that's composure, that's the ability to not rush a shot, to set your feet, and to go up and gather yourself.
Selena Lott, known as the defensive lockdown player from Marquette, has really developed into a good offensive player this year. And Carolyn Keeger saying she could be a potential X factor down the stretch as James tried one too many passes. King the steal. Lott looking to add to her total. Got it blocked by Herlihy. And Esposito turned it back over. And an and one for Marquette, as Wilborn got the theft and the layup.
And you saw what she was trying to do there, trying to save the basketball before getting called for the travel, falling to the ground, but unfortunately right into the Golden Eagles' hands. Fortunate for Villanova.
And Marquette has opened the lead up to 6, as Harry Peretta will pull Esposito. Wilborn grew up going to a lot of Marquette games. The Milwaukee native increases the lead to 7.
And you see the youngsters sitting down for Villanova. Those are the teachable moments. That's where the coaching staff needs to say, okay, this is what happened and this is how we correct it.
Jay Cott. Nowhere to go as Marquette does a nice job recovering off that full court pressure.
You know, Carolyn Keeger talks so much about the buy-in of these Marquette seniors on the defensive end, how much effort they're putting in to the defense.
Tucker tried to keep it alive off Jay Cott's miss, but it's out of bounds to Marquette.
You know, anybody on this Marquette team can score, but when you have that buy-in on the defensive end and you could turn truly that defense into offense, and you could lock down players and you understand your philosophies of when you're switching and when you're staying, it raises up the game a whole nother level.
Golden Eagles up 7, a minute and a half into this second quarter. King so dangerous off the dribble, draws the double. Lott hits the 3, and it's the first double-digit lead of the game.
And there, Mary Gadeka just getting caught, sucked in too low and not able to close out in time. And Lott, one of those unsung heroes that Coach Keeger talks about.
And King, so unselfish off that drive, was a scorer in high school, much more of a facilitator. Gets the steal off the deflection from Lott and the easy 2. And Harry Peretta has to take a timeout to try to get things under control. A 10-0 run to start the second quarter for Marquette. It's the Golden Eagles up a dozen. 8:19 to go in the opening half from Villanova.
Meet Fliz 1. It's tiny and complex, and to our research team at Villanova University, this protein may hold the key to new tests for breast cancer. I started this work my second year at Villanova with a world-class researcher who is now my mentor and colleague. I stepped on campus an aspiring oncologist. Now, I'll start med school with a real understanding of the science behind the practice of medicine and Villanova's Augustinian values to guide me. Ignite change, go Nova.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Senior leadership for Marquette. 10-0 run to start the second quarter. The Golden Eagles, under normal circumstances, will start 5 seniors, but it's the 6th senior who's as big a part of this program as any right now.
Yeah, Sandra Daling from Stockholm, Sweden. She's actually a coach on the bench for this team, even though she suits up. Whenever they go to a timeout and they break in the huddle, the coaches have their huddle, the team has their huddle, led by Sandra Daling. She talks to the team about what she's seeing. They answer her. Then Coach Keeger comes in. They all take a deep breath, and they start the coaches' huddle.
Out of a timeout, Villanova can't get the ball in, so whatever Daling said, it was pretty effective, and the frustration level beginning to rise for the longtime vet, Harry Peretta.
You know, and what an honor, you know, for Sandra Daling, because she doesn't play that much. She's only played in 8 games so far this year, but a brilliant mind. She might be the most intelligent person in this building, as a matter of fact. She has dreams of being a brain surgeon, of going to med school back home in Sweden, and to be named a captain when you don't play that much with this particular group of seniors for the Marquette team is just unbelievable.
Carolyn Keeger called her one of the most unselfish people you're ever going to encounter. It was up to her whether she wanted to come back this year. Keeger said, we were honest. We knew there wouldn't be a lot of playing time for her, but she was such an integral part of the locker room and this entire team. And Keeger said, we could not be where we are without her presence.
Yeah, and without that leadership. And those are the intangibles of a championship team that really propel you to the next level.
Nice adjustment there by Keeger to go to the full court pressure. Burn a second timeout from Villanova. Wildcat offense desperately needs something here. Down to 8 on the shot clock as Herlihy goes to Jaycott back door. Missed the layup. Davenport the rebound. King the other way on the run. Nice lefty finish.
And I've just been so impressed with the development of Danielle King. She can go to the right, go to the left. She finishes at the rim. She's really increased her point production, you know, going over the 1,000 mark this year along with everybody else. But it is that vocal leadership of where she's really set herself apart as a mature player.
Jaycott just can't find the range. And another one and done for Villanova.
And it's so hard, you know, when you have to do the scout for Marquette and you're sitting there in the film room and it's, you know, who can you lay off of or who can you cheat off of? Well, nobody. You can't cheat off of any of these players because they're all just too good.
And this is without the reigning Big East Player of the Year, by the way, as rebound tips right to the hands of Gadeka for Villanova.
And a lot of that's, you know, credit to the culture that's been built with this Marquette team. Not so much next man up, but all doing it together.
Hahn stepping back, just can't find any open space.
You see Davenport really laying off Gadeka there. Gadeka had the ball just inside the three-point line, and Davenport almost challenging her to take that shot.
Jaycott trying to get herself going. 0 of 6 now from the floor. Heidemann 1-on-2. It doesn't matter.
Unbelievable. What great body control. And again, she's lefty, but she can go right. Danielle King's righty, she can go left, just phenomenal. And what you'll see in this replay here is just the amazing finish, hitting some of our TV crew there, but getting back up, getting down on defense.
Physical defense from Gadeka, and it's stolen from her. Wilborn all the way for the missed layup. Well, she relaxed on that one. Still a 14-0 run and another chance for Marquette. Good poise by Marquette not to panic after the missed bunny.
Not at all. They knew enough to bring it out and reset.
Tough catch in traffic for Davenport. 10 to shoot. Heidemann. Got it. Marquette is lighting it up. They've scored 17 straight to start the second quarter.
And Heidemann just kind of putting her hands up. You know, you give her room, she's going to take it. But she just kind of put her hands up like, well, yeah, I went in.
And they're doing this without their best player. It's the You don't want to call them supporting cast members because they're all 1,000-point scorers, but some of the other players getting an opportunity to kind of step into the limelight. Boy, are they taking advantage. 3 to shoot. Jaycott still can't find it. Gadega gets another try.
And there's a case where Davenport had the position, but she didn't body up and push back, and that's why Gadega was able to get that offensive rebound.
Villanova 1 of 8 from three-point range, so Gadega goes inside and misses from point blank. Lott beats everybody down the floor and is fouled by a recovering Jaycott. Selena Lott to the strike for 2.
Great hustle by Herlihy, but Marquette is just so good with the outlet pass. They release as good, if not better, than anyone in the country. If you really watch them on defense, as soon as they are sure that one of their players has secured that rebound, they are releasing and flying down the lane, and they do that multiple times a game where you're almost acting as a wide receiver.
Esposito returns. Cameron Onken in for the first time. Meanwhile, Heidemann and Davenport get a well-deserved rest for Marquette. The lead is up to 21, 19 in a row to start the second quarter.
Yeah, a little bit of a slow start, according to Marquette standards, but they've really pushed the envelope here and ballooned this lead a little bit. And Villanova with a few unforced turnovers. It had a tendency this year to turn over the ball more than they have in the past. Last year, they were one of the leaders in the entire nation in turnovers, in low turnovers. And this year, that's not really been the case.
Marquette has 4 steals. 3 of them have come in this second quarter. In desperate need of a basket here. This one could get really ugly.
Yeah, I mean, you really want to close out well. You have about 4:19 left, and you want to try to win the next 4 minutes.
Nice cut by Tucker, but she misses the wide open shot. Nova just can't find the range. Oh, what a hesitation move by Wilborn, blowing past everyone.
It's amazing what a little bit of a stutter or a little bit of a hesitation will do in the game of basketball. It gets your defender on their heels just a little bit, and you see it there, right strong to the rim.
Esposito was anticipating, and Wilborn left her in her wake.
Marquette was overplaying a little bit in that first quarter, and now you're seeing that they're not sloughing off, but they're playing a little bit more honest.
Tucker draws the contact. It was a tough shot. Lott was all over her. But finally, Tucker will head to the strike to try to get Villanova on the board in this second quarter.
And you see what Villanova's trying to do. They're trying to hand it off. They're trying to penetrate. They're trying to create. But what's ended up happening is it's becoming a little bit more of those one-on-one matchups instead of the typical, like they were doing in the first quarter, running off screens, reading the screens, continuous movement without the basketball, and reversing the basketball to the other side to get your defender in a bad position.
So Tucker ends a 21-0 run by Marquette to start the second quarter. The deficit at 22. And Marquette another rebound. Good box out by Spingola. Heidemann back in. Finds a wide open King. Passes up the 3. And as does Van Clunen. Marquette not afraid to give up a good look for a better one, which they get from Spingola. And a good rebound. Onken able to hustle it down, but then it's a foul against Wilborn on the reach.
Yeah, definitely a lot of contact there. Mary Gadeka had the position, was trying to pick up that basketball. You could see almost boxing out and just getting bumped by Wilborn.
So the ball goes back to the Wildcats, down 22. How do you get some momentum going into the half here for the Wildcats?
Well, I think they need to get back to what they were doing in the first quarter. You see they're a little bit stagnant now. Look at everybody standing around, not really moving without the basketball. It's more these one-on-one isolations, and I think they need to get back to running off those screens, reading the screens, continuous motion, and then penetrating and kick, trying to get someone to help so you can get the kick out.
What a block by Heidemann. 4 to shoot for Jaycott. 2 to shoot, and they're not going to get it all. 30 seconds of lights-out defense from the 15th ranked team in the country.
Yeah, this Villanova system is not made for those one-on-one, put the ball on the ground and go to the rim, unless you're playing that 4-out, 1-in. And you see the great block of just being in good position there and then nothing able really to occur for Villanova. But where they isolate and they can go one-on-one is more in the paint, not so much from the wing to the rim.
2:35 until halftime. At halftime, it probably can't come soon enough if you're Villanova. Heidemann, the step back. Are you kidding me?
I mean, how do you guard that? How do you guard that? You know, you just give her enough room. She steps back. You think you're playing good position. You think you're playing pretty good defense, and she just nails it right in your face, picking up where she left off last week.
She's got 13 on only 6 shots. Esposito. Villanova needed it, can't get it. King, the smallest player on the floor, grabs the rebound, starts the break. And Heidemann gives her some help.
Yeah, and they're relentless. Marquette is relentless. They will keep going at you and keep going at you.
Heidemann all around the world and out if that one would have dropped.
But you know what else Marquette does? They play with freedom, and they've earned it. They've earned that freedom. You know, Carolyn Keeger going with this team for the last 4 years, but they've earned that freedom.
Jaycott backdoor cut for the easy deuce. First field goal of the quarter for Villanova comes 8.5 minutes in.
Yeah, they have their philosophies. They may make a mistake here and there, but they're not getting pulled after a mistake. They're playing through them.
Van Clunen. That one's off the mark. Tucker couldn't grab the rebound, and Wilborn gets the gift.
Yeah, Spingola might have been a little bit over the back there, but was able to tip it to her teammate to keep that ball alive.
What a show Marquette has put on the road. A 26-point second quarter, and there's still a minute to go.
Yeah, talking to a lot of the coaches, you know, in this league, I mean, many feel that they have a legit shot to go run the table in this league.
A tough pass from Heidemann as Van Clunen had leaked out. And a turnover gives it back to Nova with 48 9/10 to go. A rare mistake from the senior out of Green Bay.
Yeah, you know, you have Marquette, you have DePaul. Obviously, in that first matchup was a little bit lopsided, but how about Butler? How about the historic start for Butler this year with Tori Schickel and Whitney Jennings? Just a great, so I'm excited for that matchup.
Well, we talked to Harry Peretta this week about the depth of this league. We asked him, is it the top tier that's gotten better or the bottom tier? He says it's both, and that's what makes it such a monster of a conference slate. Tucker gets the roll of a beautiful up and under move.
And he also said, you know, although it's great for the league, it also forces these teams to beat up on each other. So then you might have some of those, you know, the 4th, 5th team that might get in the NCAA tournament ends up having 9 losses because they're all beating each other up.
Well, they had such a strong non-conference performance. The RPIs have ratcheted up consequently, and they all are going to have a chance at a signature win if Marquette keeps playing like this. Although they'll be tough to get. 5 to shoot for Heidemann. Trying to set it up. The step back. And that ends the first half. What a second quarter from Marquette, as they were able to outscore Villanova 26-5 in that second quarter. So it's the Golden Eagles up 23 at the half. And we'll send it for our Big East update at the break.
Welcome into the Big East Women's Basketball Update. I'm Megan Caffrey. There's a lot to get into today. However, first, let's take a look back at this past weekend. It was the marquee matchup that everyone had been waiting for, the top 25 showdown between Marquette and DePaul. And the Golden Eagles ran away with this one, beating DePaul 96-63. You have to remember the preseason player of the year, Alizea Blockton, she was out of this game, and it was the next man up mentality for the Golden Eagles. That next man up was Natisha Heidemann. She finished with 32 points against the Blue Demons, matching her career best. And she said after the game, her and her team are bringing the intensity to every single game that they play, especially in conference play. And before this game, I spoke with analyst Sarah Krustock about what the importance was and the difference maker that was going to be in this game. And she said transition game. And the Golden Eagles really took control of that against DePaul. They forced DePaul to turn the ball over, and they were able to score in transition. Get this, the Golden Eagles had 33 points off turnovers, whereas the Blue Demons only had 15. And taking a look at that box score right there, after the first quarter, Marquette was up by 20 points, and they were able to just continue to hold on to that lead and really build off of it. And after the game, Natisha Heidemann really pointed out the growth of her defense. She said, yes, we do identify ourselves as an offensive team, but we've seen the maturity in our defense, and we're bringing a new level of intensity on that side of the ball. You know who's also having growth right about now in Big East play? The Providence Friars. They had their first conference win against Villanova on Sunday with their best scoring performance of the season. They shot 52.3% from the field. And I spoke with Yo-Yo Nogic and Mary about the growth that the Providence Friars are having. We now welcome in the Providence Friars guard Yo-Yo Nogic and the Big East Freshman of the Week, Mary Baskerville. Thank you two so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Your team earned your first Big East win of the season on Sunday against Villanova at home. How momentum building is it to win at home in conference play?
Yeah, it's really big. You know, not many people would have thought that we could have done that, and then being able to beat such a good basketball team is just very exciting. Being able to do it at home in front of all of our fans is very exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Also, just seeing a reward for the work we've put in and seeing we had rough games against Marquette, DePaul, Georgetown. We had one good quarter, then two, then three, and it's just rewarding to see we've finally been able to put 4 good quarters in, and it's really good to see the reward.
You mentioned Georgetown right there, Yo-Yo. Going into the final 10 minutes of the game on Sunday against Villanova, you were tied with the Wildcats, just like in your game on Friday against Georgetown. However, the outcome was different. You won on Sunday. After the game, head coach Jim Crowley said you used Sunday's game as another chance to show who you are. Who did your team show that you are on Sunday?
We know the work we put in. We know we're right there. Against Georgetown, it was just 1 quarter. Against Villanova, we had the same opportunity. We go tight end into the 4th quarter, and we know we've been here before. We know what we have to do. We have to lock in on defense, trust our offense, and it will play out by itself.
Yo-Yo had 23 points against Villanova on Sunday, a season high for you. How are you able to have so much offensive success?
It's on my teammates. As a shooter, they need to set me screens. I need to get open, try to find the open looks. But again, it's all them. Like, they look for me, they set me screens. A big thing of our offense is the extra pass, so always looking for that one. So, I have to give them credit.
Mary, you are the Big East Freshman of the Week, the second time you've earned this honor. What are you realizing is the biggest difference in league play versus the non-conference schedule?
It's a lot tougher, and, it's fun having tough competition and being able to do that with your team. That helps you with all your success. And just them, realizing how hard I work and giving me the ball and knowing and trusting that I can pull out for them.
Your team faces St. John's this week. You swept the Johnnies last season. What do you have to do this weekend to continue this momentum and this growth that you're building?
We have to keep trusting our offense, our defense. We know it's going to be a kids game on Friday, so we know it's going to be extra loud. It's going to be a lot of energy. As you said, we swept them last year, so they're going to come in with even more energy to try to beat us. So we just got to go out there, give all we have, play together, trust each other, and as I said before, the outcome will come.
Speaking of energy, who's got the most energy on the team?
It's a hard one.
Yeah, I think we all bring our piece of energy into it. I don't know, Maddie, Little, Mary. When Mary gets hyped up, then there's no way of taking her down. So Kira, Coop, Sophia, everybody plays such an important part in it. I really don't know if there's one that has the most energy.
Yeah, no.
How about maybe the funniest on the team?
Oh. We're all pretty funny.
I don't know. Maybe Maddie, Sophia.
Yeah.
You two have to give yourself some credit too, right? It's like we're pretty funny as well.
That's funny.
We just want to give credit to other people.
Yo-Yo Mary, thank you so much for joining me, and best of luck the rest of this season.
Thank you so much.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Meet Fliz 1. It's tiny and complex, and to our research team at Villanova University, this protein may hold the key to new tests for breast cancer. I started this work my second year at Villanova with a world-class researcher who is now my mentor and colleague. I stepped on campus an aspiring oncologist. Now, I'll start med school with a real understanding of the science behind the practice of medicine and Villanova's Augustinian values to guide me. Ignite change, go Nova.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Meet Fliz 1. It's tiny and complex, and to our research team at Villanova University, this protein may hold the key to new tests for breast cancer. I started this work my second year at Villanova with a world-class researcher who is now my mentor and colleague. I stepped on campus an aspiring oncologist. Now, I'll start med school with a real understanding of the science behind the practice of medicine and Villanova's Augustinian values to guide me. Ignite change, go Nova.
Any thought of a hangover for Marquette after the convincing win last week against DePaul? Wiped out in the second quarter. The 15th ranked team in the country on the road, a mid-morning matinee of 23 at the break. I'm Matt Janis alongside Christine Mata, and as we look at the first half highlights, Villanova played well in the first quarter. They were able to get some good looks, especially inside.
They did everything they wanted to do in that first quarter. You could see how they were reading the screens. They were looking at the matchups. They had great footwork inside and really the reading of those screens, moving without the basketball. But after that, Marquette started to get going.
And as well as they played, only up 2 going into the second quarter, and it was all Golden Eagles in this second period.
And they did it in multiple ways. They did it through their defense. They did it through sharing the basketball. They did it by staying with a play when it looks like you're late, like Lott was able to do there. They're just so impressive at the balance on the offensive and defensive end.
Danielle King right in the middle of a great deal on the drive, and how about the block shot from Heidemann?
Yeah, and not just being in good position, and then her defense was able to propel her offense. So she started out a little slow, and now she's leading her team with 13 big points.
And put on a little bit of a show at the end of that first half. Hit a step-back 3, hit that one in transition, and Amani Wilborn finished it off on the drive. And as we look at the first half stats, the shooting numbers tell the story. Marquette is at 58%, and Villanova well below 50.
And I think when you look at that, Villanova, we said, started out well. They shot 53% in that first quarter, but then it dropped down to 17% in the second quarter. Conversely, Marquette shot 53% in the first quarter as well, but they shot 63% in the second quarter. But the big thing that stands out to me here is turnovers. You look at the Marquette only having 2 turnovers, taking very good care of the basketball.
And sharing it as well, 11 assists on the 19 made field goals, and 6 of the other 8 came on fast break opportunities off of either steals or long rebounds. A reminder, the women's basketball tournament is in Chicago this year. Great ticket packages are available and on sale December the 29th. $50 per package gets you downstairs. $100 for courtside seats. It's at the Wintrust Arena, Chicago, March 9th through the 12th. BigEast.com/WBB tickets for more information. At the half, it's Marquette up 47-24.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/.
Meet Fliz 1. It's tiny and complex, and to our research team at Villanova University, this protein may hold the key to new tests for breast cancer. I started this work my second year at Villanova with a world-class researcher who is now my mentor and colleague. I stepped on campus an aspiring oncologist. Now, I'll start med school with a real understanding of the science behind the practice of medicine and Villanova's Augustinian values to guide me. Ignite change, go Nova.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Meet Fliz 1. It's tiny and complex, and to our research team at Villanova University, this protein may hold the key to new tests for breast cancer. I started this work my second year at Villanova with a world-class researcher who is now my mentor and colleague. I stepped on campus an aspiring oncologist. Now, I'll start med school with a real understanding of the science behind the practice of medicine and Villanova's Augustinian values to guide me. Ignite change, go Nova.
Marquette showed why they are the 15th ranked team in the country, outscoring Villanova 26-5 in the second quarter. I'm Matt Janis with Christine Corimata. This is the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi. If Harry Paredes' team is going to make a run here at home in the second half, other than make shots, what are some of the things they got to do?
I think they need to start moving again without the basketball. I thought in the second quarter they got a little bit stagnant. They were standing around, trying to go one-on-one a little bit more than they typically do. They need to get back to setting those screens, penetrating and kicking, reversing the basketball, and then quite honestly, they need to take care of the basketball. They didn't have a ton of turnovers. They only had 5, but it was the timing of those turnovers that really propelled Marquette into their run.
Villanova ball to start the third quarter. And we are underway as the Wildcats of the home whites, Marquette, the road gold jerseys. Nice feed inside. Gadeka wide open, and that's the bread and butter for Villanova.
Yeah, and it's really hard to guard because when you have that constant motion, if you don't jump to the basketball, you turn your head, they're able to slip behind.
Good defense from Gadeka. Picked up a really early foul. Did not get number 2, but was not a big part of that opening half. Splitting a double, Davenport just muscling her way to the basket.
And that's just Erica staying with that play. She bobbled it a little bit, but she didn't panic. She stayed with her footwork and went up strong.
Hod also had a quiet first half, just that 1-3, got it blocked. The defensive specialist sending it to the baseline.
I've been so impressed with Selena Lott, only a sophomore, but really finding her way into this lineup and providing such great minutes, especially with the injury to Blockton.
Lott kind of set the tone for this season in last year's Big East title game. 7 points off the bench, has become a much better offensive player this year. Still one of the better defenders on the team is Jaycott, fouled by Wilbur.
You know, they always say during tournament time, you're not a freshman anymore, and she wasn't, and it really, you know, helped her over the summer to get the work in, and then you see it. You see the dividends paying off here this season.
You know, Marquette's going to lose 5 starters from this year's team. Lott getting the start today because of the injury to Blockton. As Herlihy off the mark with the 3, 1 and done again for the Wildcats. They're going to need underclassmen like Lott to step up next year as King all the way for the layup.
Such acceleration. I've seen game in and game out where Danielle King can hesitate, can turn on the jets and just increase her acceleration to the rim, and that's really why she's able to get there. I mean, she's quick, but it's that step ahead due to her footwork.
Cats down 25. Early minutes of the third quarter. They double J-Cott on the perimeter. Gadeka into the paint. Hahn from way downtown off the mark. And Lott another rebound. Only 2 offensive boards all game for Villanova as Heidemann is fouled on her way to the basket.
Yeah, Jenna Tucker did not like that one. She had the size advantage. She thought she stayed pretty clear and got her hand on the ball. But again, Heidemann, she's lefty, but she can go just as easily to her right, using her body to absorb that contact.
That is a tough call on Tucker. I thought they might get the reach on her way to the basket. Tucker very disappointed, but Heidemann increases the lead.
And again, you can't say enough about Natisha Heidemann, what she's been able to do on this 5-game stretch. Just shooting the ball well, doing it in different ways, and really propelling herself to be a leader for this team.
Heidemann in Big East action. If it's averaging better than 24 points per game, also better than 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Talk about a true triple threat.
And then in the game against DePaul, she had 6 steals. What can she not do?
We're still looking.
You know, Coach Keeger said, you know, she believes she's one of the best guards, not just in the Big East, but in the country.
Well, think about this. Most players, as a reach-in foul called on Lott, if they score over 1,500 in their career, they're the unquestioned best player on your team. She's played second fiddle to Alizea Blockton because Blockton's 11 away from 2,000. She's the all-time leading scorer in Marquette, both men's and women's basketball history.
And you can keep going down the line. You could say that about King, and you could say that about Wilborn. I mean, they all are over 1,000. It really is just one of the best stories, I think, in the nation. Pretty
move from Gadeka. Got the defender in the air. Is Nova back within 25. Heidemann, though. Oh, my goodness. An immediate response.
And that's just the case where nobody stopped the ball. You can't allow her to come all the way down to the three-point line before, as a defender, you stop that ball.
Going to have to fix the nets here at the pin. Marquette burning them up as J-Cott hit the side of the backboard. Davenport, long outlet. Oh, how did Heidemann get to that one?
Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me right now? That was almost a magic trick. The way she, not only the way she was able, look at her, get up to the ball, but how she caught it with the right hand, switches over to her left hand, all in one motion. That was pretty.
Gadeka foul line jumper. And it's back to 28, but Heidemann, that extra gear. Meanwhile, King stop and pop. It's too easy right now for Marquette offensively.
Yeah, and you see a little bit with the body language here with Villanova. They're tired. They're tired. Marquette is relentless. And they will keep pushing that ball down your throat. They release so well. There was no offensive rebounders down there when Danielle King took that shot, but it didn't matter because she nothing but net.
Tucker, tough off-balance 3, and another one and done for Villanova.
Yeah, and you're just seeing Villanova getting out of sorts a little bit. Again, these one-and-done early shots, one-on-one opportunities, that's not the way they typically play.
J-Cott grabs a rebound this time as she made Wilborn's life difficult.
Yeah, Kelly J-Cott hasn't really been able to get herself going, and multiple times throughout the last 2 years, Harry Peretta has said, the way Kelly J-Cott goes is the way we go, and she just has not been able to get it going.
On call for the wall. Shift work. Harry Peretta sensing the same thing you were. Goes to his bench. 3 subs in. Onken, Herlihy, and the redshirt freshman Raven James. Redshirt sophomore, I beg your pardon. James getting a lot more run at point guard this year.
Absolutely, and she's been doing a good job with the minutes she had, but that's something Harry Peretta has stressed. He said, we don't have a very big bench, and where last year some of those other seniors were able to take some of the pressure off, now you have some of the younger players trying to force the issue a little bit, or they're not as calm because they don't have those seniors.
King buries the triple.
Oh, she has been impressive here today. The combination between Heidemann and King, it's just been unstoppable today. But a lot of it comes down to, honestly, stopping the basketball. If you don't have that first early intervention, that early defensive stop, basketball fundamentals 101, got to stop the basketball.
Nice feed from James, found Jaycott, who will head to the strike.
And again, anytime you see these opportunities, Villanova getting to the rim, absorbing that contact, a lot of it is because of what they're doing before they receive the basketball. Great movement without the basketball. When they move, they make the defense move, and sometimes you're running around with a chicken with your head cut off because you're reading those screens and the defenders have no idea which way you're going.
Sometimes watching Villanova play offense, it's like watching a triple option in football. When it works, you wonder why everybody doesn't run it and how anyone ever stops it. But then when the ball doesn't go in the basket, you wonder how Harry Peretta has lasted 41 years. It really is remarkable. And he admits it. Ball has to go in for this offense to work.
And that's where there's some of the similarities between these two teams, because Villanova, you have to have a high basketball IQ to play in the system. You have to read the defense. It's not just set plays. And with Marquette, because of their maturity, because of their experience with these 5 seniors and 6 seniors, they're just able to do the things that they need to do because they have the experience.
I'd have been trying to show the full repertoire. Went with the MJ's turnaround fadeaway, but it rimmed in and out.
Yeah, she's really added a lot over the years to her offensive game, and that's one, the step back, the fadeaway, because of her athletic ability, but also because of the work she's put in the gym.
Jaycott from deep, and that's what Villanova needs. Not going to help them today, but a lot of basketball left in the Big East. They got to get Jaycott going. Spin Golda off the mark. Good day of the rebound as Nova tries to build a little momentum.
But what makes them dangerous still, even at this point in the game, is because they can get on a run. They can shoot the 3 ball. Even if they're tired, if they start doing that 4 out, 1 in kind of look, I mean, if Marquette tries to help off the penetration, you can get some of those kickouts on the perimeter.
Jaycott, nice move, but couldn't finish. Hurley, he grabbed the offensive rebound, was under the basket, takes it out to the perimeter and turns it over. Wilborn the steal and an easy 2 for Heidemann.
Well, and even there, you know, you see Raven James not hustling back, kind of jogging behind a little bit. You got to sprint, beat her to the spot. Even if you're down by 29 or 31, you got to go try to get that ball.
That's a lesson Brianna Hurley he will learn also. When you get a rebound right under the basket, just go back up with it. There was nobody in front of her.
And I think that's where, you know, players' body language speaks so much. You see that great shot by Kelly Jaycott, but you have to hustle. It doesn't matter if you're down 50 or if you're down 2. You got to play the same way.
That's something Harry Peretta certainly believes in. Van Clunen off to Davenport, and Wilborn ends up with it getting fouled. And so it'll be a trip to the line for Wilborn when we return. 3:15 to go in the third, and it's all Marquette today. The Eagles leading by 28. Back with more in a moment.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Villanova kick line.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Meet Fliz 1. It's tiny and complex, and to our research team at Villanova University, this protein may hold the key to new tests for breast cancer. I started this work my second year at Villanova with a world-class researcher who is now my mentor and colleague. I stepped on campus an aspiring oncologist. Now, I'll start med school with a real understanding of the science behind the practice of medicine and Villanova's Augustinian values to guide me. Ignite change, go Nova.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Carolyn Keeger and company out to a 28-point lead as Marquette used a big second quarter to have a comfortable cushion, outscoring Villanova 26-5 in the second. You know, Carolyn Keeger is somebody that returned to her alma mater 5 years ago. She was a great player at Marquette. We asked her this week, is this what you had in mind when you came back? Did you feel like you could get the program to this point? And she said, absolutely, this was the vision. But she admitted the timeline has maybe hit fast forward a little quicker than she thought.
I mean, this is really the dream timeline. You have your first recruiting class moving all the way from recruits to now their senior year in her 5th season. So first season, she recruited all these young women. And now in her 5th season, she's seeing the fruits of her labor and of their labor. They've worked so hard. And it's really just a testament to Carolyn Keeger and the culture that she has created. They are a family. They've basically grown up together here at Marquette, and it's evident on the floor, the trust, the understanding, the drive, and the goals.
And maybe the most impressive part is Wilmore knocks down a pair at the stripe. You hear a young coach talk about how she drove this team really hard their first 3 years and realized coming into this season, their experience, they understand what we expect from them. Let them take the reins and let them have some fun. And she's really taken a step back. And clearly, her players have made that look like a very smart decision.
Yeah, and admittedly, she also said, when you're driving and you're doing these things, you also have to take a step back yourself, and you have to be able to enjoy it a little bit. And that's what a lot of coaches sometimes do forget. So credit to her to recognize that at such a young age in her early coaching years.
Jaycott followed her shot and got rewarded with another chance. Kadek has had a quiet day. They've been all over defensively. Nice lefty spin move for the finish that time.
And a quiet day for her maybe, but the only one in double figures for Villanova at this moment.
The freshman, Murata, caught for the offensive foul. The only freshman on this Marquette roster. Getting a little run, but a little over-aggressive, fighting for position inside.
And that's what these games do as well. When you are up by a significant amount, some of these bench players, some of these younger players get quality minutes. But again, Marquette, they don't cool the jets. They keep driving. They keep attacking.
Step back from Espinoza. And another long rebound chased down by Wilmore. And a little too fancy on the dribble. I thought she lost it out of bounds. Nova tipped it to the baseline. So it'll stay with Marquette.
And Harry Preda really looking for some big things from Esposito. He's expecting her to take some of the minutes from Grace Stant after her injury, and she'll most likely be out the rest of the season. So some big minutes for her.
That's a big loss for Villanova as Davenport, off-balance baby hook, gets the lead back to 30. Now, Stant's not a player that'll wow you statistically, 3 points, 3 rebounds per game, but complete understanding of the system on both offense and defense. Broke her foot early in the Providence game, and as you said, out for the rest of the year.
And that's so crucial in Harry Preda's offense, to understand the system and to be a facilitator. There's many aspects of that, but it's the intelligence factor. He recruits intelligent basketball players because you have to be able to read.
Davenport, nice fake on the handoff, exploding to the rim for the layup.
You know what else about these Marquette players you notice with each and every one of them? They can go right, they can go left. That's from work in the gym. You don't just magically appear your freshman year and you can go as good right and as good left. You're seeing the work that's been put in, and they drive each other and they compete with each other.
Jaycott finishes from the left side to get it back to 30. They all had strengths coming to Milwaukee, but they all had areas of the game they needed to improve. Heidemann needed to become a better jump shooter. She's always had the ability to drive, and she missed that time. The freshman can't finish inside. Jaycott grabs the rebound. King needed to learn how to run the point. She was more of a scorer in high school. Davenport had to improve on the defensive end. Even Blockton, who was one of the best players in the country, was an average jump shooter when she arrived at Marquette. Now she's a very good shooter that you have to guard to the outside. It makes her that much more dangerous.
And when you talk to this coaching staff and the players, they all say the same thing, but it's also on the defensive end where they've all now bought in, realizing the importance of it.
King leaking out, got the perfect feed from Heidemann, and another layup for Marquette.
And it's not just saying, yeah, we care about defense. It's actually showing it. It's the evidence.
Blockton, when she came out of high school, said, we know we have to play defense, but we like offense much more. You won't hear her say that anymore. As James gets the layup to close the third quarter. It's all Marquette today. A tough education day for the home team as Harry Paredes club down 30, fourth quarter up next.
This Sunday, January 13th is Goldie Cat's birthday. Join Villanova cheer.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
Meet Fliz 1. It's tiny and complex, and to our research team at Villanova University, this protein may hold the key to new tests for breast cancer. I started this work my second year at Villanova with a world-class researcher who is now my mentor and colleague. I stepped on campus an aspiring oncologist. Now, I'll start med school with a real understanding of the science behind the practice of medicine and Villanova's Augustinian values to guide me. Ignite change, go Nova.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
You see the looks on the Villanova players' faces, some stunned disbelief. Down 30 at home as we head to the fourth quarter. Hey, Paredes, though, talking to his team about more than just this fourth quarter. It's a tough stretch the Wildcats are going through in the schedule.
And you might look at that schedule and say, oh my goodness, as a player, you know, how do we do this? How do we have no rest in between? But Harry Paredes said, actually, the players like this. They would much rather play in the games than deal with practice. But the issue for Villanova right now is with the injuries, with the loss of some people last year, with some people that aren't going to be playing this year, they just don't have the depth on the bench. And he said the team gets tired. We talked about them jumping out into those early leads in games and then kind of filtering off in the second half. And we said, what is that all about? He said, honestly, I think we're just tired. So they're trying to work through it, but they do have some heck of a stretch. And that Penn squad, one of the best defenses in the country.
How did that come wide open as Davenport held her pivot and got the layup?
And she's been very impressive here today. Just solid, picking up, some of those little chippy shots, able to use her footwork and her body. I just love when post players use their body to feel the defender and go over the right shoulder.
Herlihy, it'll stay with Villanova. While the fourth quarter struggles in Big East play are a real thing for Villanova. They were outscored by Butler 20-8, final quarter of an 8-point loss. They were outscored by Xavier 32-14 in the final period. And a once 29-point lead shrunk to as little as 2 in the final minute. Then they scored just 12 in a 2-point win against Creighton as Herlihy misses. Her sister cleans it up. Oh, we'll call that a pass. Bridget to Brianna for a deuce. And last time out against Providence, Friars ended the game on a 17-8 run over the final 5.5 minutes, and that was the difference in a PC victory.
And that's where the numbers don't lie, because there is a pattern. Often in sports we like patterns, but that's not a pattern you necessarily like, because it is showing that evidence of whether it's being tired or lack of focus or just not able to make those shots, when it really counts. So hey, that's the grind of the Big East season, and you have to just clean those things up and go on to the next.
Hey, alert the media. Heidemann just missed a jump shot, but Marquette got the offensive rebound, and we'll get another try.
And that's what kills you. This margin is too much to overcome, but you still don't want to give Marquette second chance opportunities, because now, as you can see, they're starting to work the basketball. They're starting to use some of the clock, but they're going to keep attacking as well.
King stuck. Good defense from Herlihy, but better cut from Heidemann, and she'll head to the line. They just move without the basketball so fluently, and they know where their teammates are going to be.
And I don't even know how, one, Danielle King was able to get that pass into there, and two, how Natisha Heidemann was able to receive that pass. There was a whole conglomerate of white jerseys there, but she was able to come out with it. And again, that's the connection. King and Heidemann, you don't even have to say anything. You give a little nod, or their body language enough to know what's about to happen.
King will sit down as you see Carolyn Keeger talking to her. Keeger had great praise for King's evolution as a leader. She came to Marquette as a off guard, learned how to play the point, but was still very quiet. And the coaching staff pushed her to be more vocal. And Keeger said it's as big a maturation as we've seen from any player in our coaching careers. She is now the outspoken on-the-court leader of this basketball team. As James way off the mark. Davenport had the rebound knocked away. And Herlihy gets an easy 2 out of it.
And that's what it's about. I mean, yes, we're talking about basketball and we're talking about sports, but when you go to college, it's about the development of the student athlete, and that's what she's done. She's developed into a leader, not just in sports, but in life.
It's a walk from Spingola, trying to head to the basket, back to Villanova.
And you talk about Danielle King, playing the point guard position. Anytime you're a point guard and your coach is a former point guard as well, it's just a little bit different, because point guards see the game a little bit differently than everybody else, and, credit to their relationship and just the growth.
Herlihy seeing the game like a point guard, finding her sister. The Bridget to Brianna connection working again for 2 more.
And in the end of the third quarter and early in this fourth quarter, I mean, Villanova has made some improvements. In the end of that third quarter, Kelly Jaycott started coming on. Now the Herlihy sisters are starting to get it going. And on the defensive end is where they really have to try to get those stops, Marquette, and try to close this gap a little bit.
Althea Anderson fouled. She'll head to the line. Junior out of Bridgeville, Delaware. So sort of a homecoming for her. About a 2.5-hour ride away from southern Delaware. And you hear some claps. I'm sure she's got some family and friends in the crowd.
And it's always nice, when you go far away for school and your family can't come and see you all the time. When you have an opportunity to play in a game like this and have some of those friendly faces, it means so much to the players. And that's why you see a lot of coaches, throughout the 4 years of a player, they'll try to schedule a game near or in their hometown so they can have that opportunity and that experience.
Makes it easy when you get a conference contest. As a little too far out in front, the Herlihy sisters not on the same page that time. By the way, speaking of having sisters on the roster, we asked Terry Perret about it this week, 41-year vet. And he said, yeah, they're sisters. They seem to enjoy each other.
Well, he's had multiple pairs of sisters play for him. These two obviously at the same time, a few others, but he's also had mother-daughter combinations as well. You talk about Mary Gadega, her mom played for Harry, and I said, well, what does that say? And he goes, well, one, it says I'm old, and he goes, and I've been doing it for a long time. He goes, but two, I would like to think that we've done it the right way, because if a young lady who's gone through this program trusts me with their daughter, then we're doing something right. And I think that's just a testament to what Harry Peretta has been over 40 years here at Villanova, as you see that great pass, great look, and absorbing that contact by Davenport.
As she heads to the line, Gadega's mother, Lisa Angelotti, played for Perret in the mid-'80s. And the Karanges, also a mother-daughter connection. Now, Sam not playing right now. An injury has limited her to just 1 game this season, but look, Mom's not going to lie about what it's like to play for Coach Peretta. So the experience must have been rewarded. Tucker. Just been a tough shooting day for Villanova. They come into every game wanting to knock down 10. They're 3 of 15 from deep this afternoon.
Yeah, and that just won't do it for this offense that is designed for the kickouts and for the three ball. I mean, they do really just have to make shots.
Davenport missed a layup underneath.
A lot of contact there with Davenport and Herlihy, but more so after the shot was taken. So both, I think, were expecting a foul called on the other, and refs just letting them play.
Herlihy misses the layup back the other way, and Davenport pulls down the rebound. Starts the break. Into Tucker, no call. Spingola. Nice head fake to free yourself up. And a tie-up. Arrow belongs to Villanova, getting a little physical now.
Yeah, Anderson involved in a lot there early on in that possession. Did you see how she was basically picking off and boxing out her defender to allow the lane for her teammate, and then getting in on the mix there with the jump ball? So doing some nice things you won't see on the stat sheet, but in the film room, the coaches notice things like that.
For these Friday, Sunday slates in Big East play, when you get a lopsided game like this, you go to your bench a little earlier than maybe you otherwise would. We've seen especially Marquette do that as Jaycott. Nice step back three.
Kelly Jaycott really has had a nice second half here, propelling her team at least to get a few more shots up. And she's such a great scorer. She's such a quiet leader for this team, but she usually, when she has a good game, this Villanova squad usually wins those games.
Wilborn still out there, running point at the moment. And get yourself a wide open jumper. Great hustle from Van Clunen. Everybody on this Marquette team just plays in attack mode. As a spin, right back to Wilborn, and boy, there's a lid on it right now for Marquette.
You know, they do play hard, and they do play with that, you know, emotion and intensity, and that comes from their head coach. I mean, look at Carolyn Keeger. I mean, look at the drive and the intensity that she leads with, and then it's, you know, they've built it themselves, but it's become part of their culture.
Getting a little sloppy here. Marquette up 34-51 to go. Back with a conclusion in a moment.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Meet Fliz 1. It's tiny and complex, and to our research team at Villanova University, this protein may hold the key to new tests for breast cancer. I started this work my second year at Villanova with a world-class researcher who is now my mentor and colleague. I stepped on campus an aspiring oncologist. Now, I'll start med school with a real understanding of the science behind the practice of medicine and Villanova's Augustinian values to guide me. Ignite change, go Nova.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
4:51 left fourth quarter. Our Marquette today. Golden Eagles up by 30. It was a big run in the second quarter that has proven to be the difference. They outscored the Wildcats 26-5, and been a deflating day for Villanova in front of a good crowd. These kids on Education Day have been into this game from the start.
Yeah, sometimes you hear the noise, but you don't see the eyes on the court. Here you're seeing both. But before that break, things were getting a little bit sloppy on the Marquette end, and we went to timeout, and you saw Coach Carolyn Keeger. She was as intense as ever. We were talking about her intensity and the identity of this team. She was saying, let's go. Like, basically, I don't care that there's only 5 minutes left in this game. We got to keep this up, because coaches look at the game differently than everybody else. They don't care that they're up 30 with just under 5. They're looking for the little things and doing things correctly.
Boy, they cannot buy one right now. Certainly a good time to have that happen. Holding a 30-point lead. They had 4 misses from inside of 5 feet on the last trip. That one rattled in, out, in, and back out again.
And it's always such a balance, because you have some players that have been sitting on the bench for more than 3 quarters, now coming into the basketball game. And 1, yes, you have to step up. It's your opportunity. But 2, you've been sitting around for an hour, so it's hard sometimes to get your legs under you as well.
Air ball from Herlihy back to Marquette.
You don't have the luxury as a bench player to kind of settle into a basketball game maybe the way the starters do. So it's always a challenge to be a bench player. A lot of credit goes to players who come in off the bench, because especially at a time like this when you get that opportunity, but you got to do things right.
Still playing a lot of main role players and starters. Wilborn at the top of the list hits the turnaround jumper.
Well, when you have this many seniors and you have a lot of people on the bench not even suited up, I always laugh when there's benches where there's more people in street clothes than there are in uniform.
Anderson with the steal. What a feed. Van Clunen got it blocked from behind by Herlihy, but Lott there to clean it up.
That was some great footwork, though, by Van Clunen, able to keep her balance. Didn't have the finish, but that was some pretty footwork.
A 34-point lead on the road for Marquette against Villanova team that comes in 10-4. This is not a bad Wildcat group.
Not at all, and they've had some great games, but really the biggest question for Villanova right now is consistency. Can they keep it consistent?
It's been in every other streak to start Big East play.
Well, I think a lot of people looked at the scoreboard in that first Big East game and saw Butler and were surprised. But now you're seeing what Butler's doing, and I don't think as many people are surprised anymore. But when you're used to seeing certain names at the top of the standings in opening weekend, there's some other names there. It always lets you know that it's a new season and it's a new team. And again, credit to Butler. They've really been enjoyable to watch.
They've always been able to score. They're starting to get it done on the defensive end.
You're absolutely right, because again, being led by Schickel and Jennings, they can score, but it is the defensive end. You're starting to see another pattern.
Especially in this conference. You see what Marquette has coming up. They go down to D.C. for a game on Sunday. And a home stretch against Seton Hall and St. John's. That's not an easy trip anymore. Xavier and Butler. Xavier, rough start to conference play, but all of their games have been close.
It's been very interesting, to say the least, in the month of January. But Sunday's game, Marquette-Georgetown, that's going to be another track meet.
Georgetown, such a hard team to figure out. They can score in the 80s, and then they'll have games where they just can't even get to the 50s. Is racing out Van Clunen. Fouled hard. Grace Lang, the walk-on, able to bounce up and is okay. Newark, Delaware native, was Miss Delaware Teen USA in 2017. Her mom played at Temple. And showed off some grit there, racing back defensively. Now they go deeper to the bench. Sandra Daling, the senior co-captain, gets her first run, and Murata, the only freshman, comes in as well. I really like Murata. When you talk to this coaching staff, she's the only freshman. That can be a really tough spot as Anderson grabs the offensive rebound. And they say she has such a high basketball IQ, they haven't had to slow anything down.
And that's a huge compliment, because that freshman year, especially in the first part of the year, it is hard for players to come in. And when you're coming into an experienced team like this, your head has to be spinning. But credit to her that she's been able to adapt.
That was a veteran savvy move there. Up and under, and then a jump stop to boot to get the foul. Not a surprise that she's got a good head on her shoulders. Her dad, Mark, the only 3-time first-team academic All-American in Marquette men's basketball history. Her family been around this school for a long time. Her brother also played on the men's team, and now getting her opportunity here with the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, it's a family affair, and you wonder when they all get together who has bragging rights for different things, or when someone has a good game or a good highlight. I'm sure that there's some videos being texted back and forth.
Three-time academic All-American. That one's going to be tough to beat on the bragging rights scale. Hurley into the defender, no call, and Anderson the rebound.
Villanova continuing to try to attack the rim, doing some good things, but just haven't really been able to finish here today.
3 of 17 from 3 as Lang grabs the rebound for the Cats.
Now you see Daling go to the rim there, and the entire Marquette bench stood up. We talked about her earlier in the broadcast, just about what she means to this team, and as a captain who doesn't really play that much, what that says about her leadership skills.
One of 2 international players on the roster. Onken, the sophomore, out of Indiana for the layup. She's going to have to provide some minutes here down the stretch for Villanova.
Yeah, Villanova is trying to find those combinations as these injuries are piling up, or when there's foul trouble. They need that next person, that bench player, to step up.
A lot has been that bench player stepping up for Marquette today, way off the mark, Daling. And you can see the respect because they're trying to get Daling looks. Final 68 seconds. All Marquette this afternoon.
Yeah, I really thought the difference in this game after that first quarter for Marquette was their defense, and especially Heidemann. I thought she started to get going, and Marquette really never looked back.
You see the bench for Villanova, the respect they have for the walk-on Lang. She couldn't hit the shot. And now we'll see that other international player, Amanda Makaya, transferred from New Mexico Junior College. They take a timeout for the sub, but it's the first time out of the second half, which means we take a break before the final 51 seconds. We'll come back to wrap things up as Marquette putting the finishing touches on a big win.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Meet Fliz 1. It's tiny and complex, and to our research team at Villanova University, this protein may hold the key to new tests for breast cancer. I started this work my second year at Villanova with a world-class researcher who is now my mentor and colleague. I stepped on campus an aspiring oncologist. Now, I'll start med school with a real understanding of the science behind the practice of medicine and Villanova's Augustinian values to guide me. Ignite change, go Nova.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
51 seconds to go from the Finn on the main line in PA. I'm Matt Tannis with Christine Mata. Both teams have gone deep into the benches. You see the walk-on Grace Lang there for Villanova. Wildcats down 34, but the youngsters still enjoying themselves here on Education Day on the campus of Villanova.
Anytime you get out of school for a few hours, you dance to some, well, questionably good music. Depends, I guess.
Depends on your demographic, your age group.
Yep.
We might be a little old for it.
But always a great day. And credit to Villanova as well before the game, all the activities they had for these students, the positive messages. They had a student-athlete panel really trying to encourage and inspire these youngsters, not just about basketball, but about life and about making good decisions and what it takes to reach your goals.
It was really interesting to see how they had it set up. They got the kids here around 9:30. They had panels of speakers and just explaining to them what college athletics is all about and how you can achieve and all that type of stuff as Van Clunen adds to the lead.
Also did some things about health and wellness. Had some strength and conditioning coaches out here talking about
nutrition.
Your body and activity and how important that is. So well done Villanova for trying to inspire some young people to make good decisions and stay healthy.
Meanwhile, the floor has been well done by Marquette. Golden Eagles up 36, and that will probably be the final margin as Anderson pulls down the rebound. A 36-point victory, a second straight 30-point triumph, and third of the year for the Golden Eagles. That's how high a level they're playing at.
And you saw Carolyn Keeger hold her hand up to slow it down. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, but doing the right thing here and dribbling the ball out.
And that is it. Marquette on the road without their best player Blockton, taking care of business as the Golden Eagles win it 91-55, the final score. So Marquette improves to 13-3. They're 4-0 in the conference. Nova drops to 10-5, 2-3 in Big East play, and it's back to the drawing board for Harry Perretta and company. They will play on Sunday their next contest against DePaul. Doesn't get any easier. And meanwhile, Marquette heads on the road to take on Georgetown, also a Sunday game. Natisha Heidemann is our player of the game. Another solid effort, 24 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Take a quick break. Come back with our post-game interview in a moment.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Meet Fliz 1. It's tiny and complex, and to our research team at Villanova University, this protein may hold the key to new tests for breast cancer. I started this work my second year at Villanova with a world-class researcher who is now my mentor and colleague. I stepped on campus an aspiring oncologist. Now, I'll start med school with a real understanding of the science behind the practice of medicine and Villanova's Augustinian values to guide me. Ignite change, go Nova.
Standing here with Carolyn
Villanova
Keeger
for a 5th consecutive time. Let's send it over to Christine, who's got the coach.
Without your best player, arguably your best player, you have a lot of great players, but what do you say about this run for your team right now?
They're really fun to coach right now. I'm having a blast with them. I think they're loose on the court. They're enjoying playing with each other, and we're playing at a really elite level right now. And it's a testament to every single one of our staff members and our teammates because they're so unselfish, and their next person up, someone goes down, what can we do to help them? And I just can't say enough about who they are as people and how they're enjoying the game. It's fun to coach. It's fun to watch.
And Natisha Heidemann, what a run she's had. What an amazing game against DePaul. Kind of started out a little slow until the end of the first quarter, and then she took off again.
I mean, I know I'm biased, but I think she's playing like an All-American right now. I mean, she's confident. She's passing the ball well. She's playing defense. I'd take her against any guard in the country right now the way that she's playing and producing. And I think she's just making everybody else on the floor confident. And then you add Selena Lott, who's really stepped up, and Alizea's, when Alizea's been out, and I can't say enough about her confidence on offense. Obviously, she's an elite level defender, and then Danny King and Amani are just running the show. It's fun to watch. It really is. And Erica Davenport goes out and has a double-double. I think that's what makes our team special is we're hard to guard because we have so many weapons.
It is a lot of fun to watch. And now you go on to Georgetown on Sunday. That could be another track meet. What do you see with Georgetown?
They're extremely hard to guard in transition, so we need to make sure it's going to be a very different game plan than it was tonight. We got to be locked in on focus and make sure we're containing White. You know, she's one of the best guards in the country with the ball in her hands, and we got to make sure we're packing the paint and controlling that tempo in that game as well.
The Marquette Golden Eagles with 5 1,000-point scorers, top 15 in the country, piling through the Big East right now. Coach, good luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, back to you, Matt.
All right, good stuff, Christine. Impressive performance today by Marquette as they improved to 13-3 on the year, 4-0 in conference play. Meanwhile, for Villanova, tough stretch on the schedule continues as they drop game number 5 and 15 tries and are below 500 in Big East action. 91-55. That'll do it for us. From my partner Christine Cormana, I'm Matt Janis. Thanks so much for tuning in. Great job by our entire Big East digital crew. Once again, the final, Marquette 91, Villanova 55. Have a good one, everybody.